Hey everyone, welcome back to Painted Studio. Maury Curtis Dunbar here, your hostess of many holiday messinesses. Okay, we have some great things to work on tonight, but I do have a few announcements. We just uploaded onto our website today Christmas kits for ornaments. So you have, sorry, my hair is in my eyes and it's reflecting on my glasses and it's bugging the tar out of me as I look in the camera. We have various ornament kits that are available now under paintable surfaces, so please feel free to go onto our website paintedstudio.com and you can order an entire kit to make one of your own specialty ornaments. So do not miss the opportunity to go check that out. They're already live. You can pick out whichever ones you want. And when you check out, there's usually a little spot either where you're selecting shipping or somewhere in there to write a note saying that you want specific colors of foils to use with your ornament, or if you need some more help. It's all right there for you. Hey Eugenia, nice to see you, sweetie. I miss seeing you. I hope you're staying warm and staying well. Eugenia is a very talented artist, owns a studio in, oh gosh, Eugenia, if I say it wrong, forgive me, but she owns a studio, I believe, in the St. Louis area. Eugenia, help me. It could be in Texas and I'm just not remembering right. And she represents Jadecor, which is a cool wall covering stuff that's fibrous. And so she does really beautiful work. So today we are going to do a couple things. Knoxville. Geez, I wasn't even close to right. I was Texas, St. Louis. No, it's Tennessee. Somebody slapped me. I'm bad. All right, so yesterday's cups are back on the turners. Let me get my lamp out of the way so you all can see. We have cups on the turners. The one that's still needing a second coat right now is this Christmas one because I needed to seal up the silver one that's over here. So these have been rolling around for about 5 or 6 hours now. I'll be here working for a while tonight, so probably at the end of 8 hours I should be able to take at least one of these off the turner and I can put a second coating on this, so everything will be done by tomorrow morning. Let's come back over here, go a little higher, and I do want to show you how cute this is. This is our Merry Christmas cup. It needs its second layer of epoxy and a little more glitter because I don't think I put enough on there, but this is already as cute as can be. So I'm very happy with that. Now, you all saw I had some extra epoxy left over, which I usually do with every pour, and I did with the second coats over here that are on. I'm sorry, I know you don't want to see just like my forehead and then all of like from here down. By the way, thank you for my great hairband from my friend Elizabeth Van Houten, who owns Yellow & Company in Southern Illinois, down in the Champaign-Urbana area. So she's also online. Check her out, Yellow & Company. I have, you know me, I got to have something on my head for the holiday. She didn't have turkey ones, otherwise I'd be wearing a turkey one. Back to what I was doing. So with extra epoxy, I have all kinds of like cake decorating molds and stuff that I was using with Fimo to embellish art pieces. Well, I poured resin in all of them to let them use up some space. So here, I'm going to show you the deepest one because it's probably the safest to move. Like this is octopus ice cubes and these are silicone. So I put a little mold release spray, poured the rest of my epoxy in there, with all the glitters and stuff, and they come out great. Now, this is one that I did with yesterday's leftovers, and you can see when they come out of the mold, they're a little hazed, and the glitter always settles to the top, to the bottom. That's normal. That's just the weight of the stuff settling through epoxy. So we're gonna flip this down here, and I'm gonna show you how we work on this. And I know you're all going to be very excited when I tell you I've got new lighting coming in, I've got a new tripod coming in. I'm just waiting for it to all show up. Now, I have not used this product. The stuff I used to use sort of disappeared. I don't know where it went. And I can't buy it anymore. So we're trying this stuff. It's called Mcguire's Mirror Glaze Final Cut Cleaner. But this is also supposed to be a good way to polish acrylics and epoxies. So I'm just gonna, well, I should see if it's actually open. No, of course it's not. I gotta pull the little seal tab off of this thing. I hate these make my hands hurt. Hey, Maddie, another person came by and admired your wreath. I swear you're gonna get customers from me because they all love what you do. All right, I'm gonna just take a little bit of this and pour it off to the side because this is gonna be messy. Well, I just squirted it out. I thought I closed it up, but I was wrong. That makes that simple enough on how I'm gonna do this. Now I have a Dremel. This is a bigger one. If you have, they make smaller ones too. I have a smaller one at home that's more, they call it a stilo or a stylus stencil, a stylus Dremel. It's a little easier to hold on to for small jobs. I'm turning mine on, and I'm set at about, I don't know, 5, 6, and I'm gonna pick up a little bit of that product, and we're going to use this, and this is a polishing tip. So let's dip in a little more here before I turn it on. We're gonna see how this one works. This is not one I've tried before. I've had others that work really, really nicely. And I don't think I'm gonna get the clear polish shine out of this the way I expected to. I have a feeling I may need to get a buffing compound, go back to the, and really where I get this stuff is at the automotive shops. So the buffing compounds are used when you have a scrape on your car. So you take a coarser one and then a finer one, and it ends up polishing itself. This stuff was supposed to make this part shiny like this. I'm not sure it's working, so I may have to go find another polishing compound tomorrow. Well, that's not what I expected. This is a new tip. I didn't know that was going to do that. Make sure it's screwed down a little tighter. Again, I don't like how this is spraying when I don't, when I apply it to the tip and turn it on, so I'm going to try it this way. Let's see how we're getting with this. I'll turn it all the way off. It's definitely improving. Now I have friends who cast with this stuff all the time and they always get it shiny, so I may need to reach out to them because the stuff that I'm used to using isn't available anymore. Let's try it that way. That's too high. Yeah, not happy with this, but it's getting there. So clearly, this is not going to be my favorite product, but I will figure out a new one. So we're going to keep going, polish a little more. Okay, so really what this needs is something with a little more of initial grit to it so I can polish off the haze and then you step it down. But it is a little bit shinier than it was before. And I love how this will look in the long run. And I cast a lot of stuff. Now this one came out really nice and clear. This one I did, it's a little head. Let me see if I can put something behind it besides my hand so you can see it a little better. This is a cast head of a sort of nymph. Now you're not going to see the detail unless you look up close, but I got some other fun ones. I got, you know, another wood nymph, and all filled with glitter. Now my favorite one that came out today, and it was a total fluke that this happened. I have a little deer mold, and somehow the red glitter. I swear to you, I did not do this. It's the red glitter. It settled into the nose, and I have a Rudolph. How funny is that? Now, this one's a little frosty. I would have liked it a little shinier. And I cast some other faces, little moon faces and stuff. And you can polish them. They'll be shinier. Or, obviously, I'm not pleased with the compound that I have here, so I'll probably have to go and find something else different tomorrow. It was a worthwhile effort. I just didn't like, I'm not crazy about the results. All right, let me turn this over since I have a little splatter going. And I have my Christmas tree disco cup going so I can sip my tea. Oh, it always feels so much better after a little disco sip. Let's move that out. So as you can tell, there's been epoxy everywhere here. We have got a lot of stuff that's been going on here today. And I did paperwork too. Are y'all impressed? I am, because I hate paperwork. All right, so we're gonna play with these two next. I have two more of them that I got over at Dollar Tree. And I think we're gonna play with a couple different colors on these today. I mean, I always want to try to pull these things free, but I don't know why. I want to tie ribbons on them later anyway, so I'm just gonna pull them. Go grab a scissor. Now, I've really loved how these have come out with the stain. So we're gonna move forward with that stain thing again, and we're gonna try a couple of different colors today. So I'm gonna take the first one, and since I've done these now a couple times, I'm much more comfortable with how I apply the stain and where everything goes. Oh my gosh, I am just a gooey mess, and it's epoxy. Normally when I do epoxy stuff, I end up clearing off the whole table and then throwing out the plastic and doing it all over, but because I was still doing more of it, and I have more of it to do again on two other cups in a little while, yeah, I kind of just left everything sticky, and now it's frustrating me. All right, let me find it. Oops, just need a little brush, preferably one that I don't dip in polishing compounds. And we're gonna use, again, we're gonna use our water-based Saman stain. Now, if you ask questions and I don't see them, it's because the camera's angled down and I can't read easily at that angle. So we're gonna take our Saman water-based stain in navy. And I love this stuff. I really do. It's so easy to work with. And if I stopped this halfway through and let one half dry, this stain re-wets itself. So all I'd have to do is brush over my edge, it would re-wet, and I'd have a perfect blend. And we're just gonna go up under here. Now this is navy and this is dark. Unlike some of the other stains you've seen me work with that aren't as dark, the navy is dark. I'm going to probably go grab some cheesecloth so I can blot this back. So I go back in and see some wood grain. Now I'm painting out over some of the burn-in detail, the little bulbs. That won't matter. When I wipe this back, I'll see them, and I'll be painting over them like I did with the other ones so that the little bulbs can be foiled with a little light sparkling around our dark little house. Now, obviously, if you were staining a big job, you wouldn't be using a little brush like this. You'd be using a full-size brush or a staining pad. But when I'm using it like paint, like I am here, I kind of have to make sure I can get into the little crevices and details. Staining pad would not be my best option for something like this. There we go. All right, give me just a second. I'm going to grab a piece of cheesecloth. That's 2 seconds away from me. Try not to trip over any cords. Cheesecloth, yay. Now I carry this cheesecloth. It's lint-free, pre-cut, 100 pieces to the roll. And when you're staining, don't use a little skimpy scrap of stain, of cheesecloth. Make yourself a pad. You want to be able to come back in and wipe it back without sticking your fingers and stuff. And it's not going to matter that I get a little bit of color on any of this stuff. I'm just don't want to stain it completely dark. And if you look at it, well, it's going to be very hard to see up close on the camera. It's not going to really show, but I can see a very faint wood grain in here. And I just threw my staining pad on the floor. Caught it with my sleeves. This was not the day for me to wear bell sleeves. I've had my sweater off a lot more than I've had it on. All right, I'm going to come back in here. No, I'm going to stain this dark in here. If I want a different color over it later, I can come back in and paint it, but I know I need a deep color in the background of the windows. Now, because this stain re-wets itself, it also means, and I haven't put anything acrylic in here to make it give it a permanent binder. So because this can re-wet with the stain, it also would re-wet with water. So if I didn't love how dark it was, I could take a little water, spritz it on there like I just did, come back in and wipe it back more, which is exactly what I'm doing right now. That's better. I got a little more wood grain showing. And if I got it too light, I can just apply more stain. I'm much happier. But because this does this, now you can see up close, you might see a little more wood grain in there. But because this will do this, that means that before I do anything else with any other products on here, after I've stained it, I have to seal it, because any other products I apply will also re-wet the stain and bleed into it. So it's not a good look if you don't seal it up. I could stain the whole thing, seal it up, and then paint over it, and that would be just as good as what I'm doing, but that's not, generally not how my brain works, so I try not to do that. I don't like staining over something and then having to, that was light, and then I might need it dark in some places and light in others. I don't like to do that. And I know, like I said, I know I'm getting stain in other places. It doesn't worry me very much because I'm going to paint over it anyway, and I have to seal it up. So sometimes I can just paint the stain on and it's a little more translucent and I don't have to do all this wiping back. Sometimes with a dark color, I got a little work to do with it to get it where I want it. Picked up a piece of fuzz. If you have any questions about this product, please don't hesitate to post them in the comments. If I don't happen to see them during the live, I will go back and answer them after. I always list all the products I use at the top after the live is over. And I think that covers most of my babble of information today. I keep thinking today is Friday, not, I don't know what that was, a fruit fly or a piece of fuzz. We have had the most annoying fruit flies here all fall, although they seem to have finally stopped. It seemed finally it got cold enough they went away. So I'm like fruit fly paranoid. And I don't keep food. I think it's because of the pet store next door. Almost done on the bottom half, and then all I have to do is get inside the windows. I haven't made up my mind how I'm handling the inside of the door yet, so I'm not going to stain that. And truly, when I start wiping it off, it'll blur into that anyway. Let's wait and wait wipe back this part first. All right, so now I'm gonna need to spritz it a little just so I can get some more of the grain showing. I think if it works better, maybe I just spritz my rag, my cheesecloth. Oh yeah, that works well too. Learning new techniques, thinking as I'm thinking, because I will inevitably, the first way I do something is the hardest. So it always helps when I take a minute to see if I can find a better way. So what's everybody making for Thanksgiving? My husband is grilling a goose this year. It's only the three of us, and turkey seems like an awfully big bird, and we eat chicken all the time, so we decided we're going for goose. And he has made it before, and it's so good. So I'm excited. Little edge right in here that I missed. So make a point when you're doing these things to turn around, change your angles and stuff like that, because you'll see spots that you never would have imagined that you'd missed. Okay, see, I missed a little bit right up in here. Inside of the windows, and then we'll do the stain for the other one. I'm just sort of slapping this stuff on today. I'm really messy today. I think it's just that it's been a busy day and it's the end of the day. Normally I'm not that sloppy. I don't get so much around the edges, but man, I am just slapping stuff on today. Don't forget, our Black Friday, Cyber Monday weekend sale is starting next week. We will have gift with purchase. We will have some blowout items. So definitely plan to shop. Not everything will be on sale, but there will be some good surprises. And no, the kits will not be part of the sale. Those just got listed, so there's no special deal on those. The special is the kits. So if you want something fun to do with the small gathering families that I know everybody's doing because of all the travel bans and all the other stuff, we have kits to keep you and your family busy. Now today I had planned to be using some of our heat transfer vinyl adhesive and things like that, but with all the epoxy goo around, pulling out fabric was not a good idea. All right, so we are all stained. Excuse me, I'm trying to fight off the hiccups and I don't know why I have them. You can see I messed, I got stain all around the door and all of that. That won't matter in the end. This is gonna sit and dry, then I'm going to seal it up with a little bit of AquaGuard to protect it so that I can then do more other kinds of work over it without having the stain lift and blend into possibly lighter colors. Okay, I need another small brush out of my heap that's over here next to me. Give me a second to find one that's gonna work. Seriously, I had all of these all set out for this kind of stuff for weeks, and now I can't find any of them. This'll do. Okay, I need another cup. I pour my navy back into my bottle. We also carry a clear tint base, an Old Masters water-based stain that's transparent, and you can make your own stain colors with it. All right, got that all in there. And in this cup, I wanted to do a redder house, but my cherry isn't quite red enough and my raspberry is too red, so I'm gonna mix them both together. Or my raspberry, it's pinky, it's not really red. So there's the raspberry. And if you want to know what that looks like, you can see it's very pinky. And then I'm gonna put a bunch more cherry on. Now this won't be able to be poured back in any jar because I'm mixing my colors, so let's hope I don't waste a lot. Cherry looks brownish going in, but it is in itself very red. So if I mix the two of them together, I should get pretty red here. Maybe a little on the purpley side, but it should be a nice red. Yep, there we go. That is a nice burgundy, close to cherry red. I was thinking it'd be kind of fun that if I got this a good red, I could trim it in green and white and make it very, very Christmassy. Okay, I'm gonna tell you, this brush doesn't hold stain very well. Not all tools do the job as well as you'd like, and I kind of knew it. This was not going to be the best brush, but it was what I could find while you were watching me fumble for brushes. So I didn't really want to mess with it for too long. I needed a brush. Darn it. So the casting I was doing before in those resin molds, as you saw, one of them was an ice cube tray. So they make ice cubes trays with dog shapes and snowflake shapes and all kinds of stuff. So definitely consider getting a couple of molds if you're going to pour resin and might have some leftovers. Because you can cast the cutest things and you can add them onto whatever creative pieces you're making. That went on nicely. Take some cheesecloth. Just work wiping back the first time without wetting it. Now that shows nice grain. And you know, this is not great wood, so you could get great stain or you could get terrible staining. I just want to wet it there and see what happens, how it looks if I wipe it back. Yeah, I'm afraid with the red it might end up looking a little patchy. But it seems not, it seems that I'm wrong. I'm getting some nice grain through it. Just a little dampness, pull that back. Was much more work with the navy because it was so dark. Okay, let's get inside the windows. I'm looking forward to going home, getting a shower, and curling up and relaxing with my family. What are you all doing tonight? It's the Thursday before Thanksgiving. I know a lot of people are planning their menus. We did ours plans last night. My husband loves to cook. And this is the time of year I normally bake a bunch of pies, but since it's just the three of us, I think I'm only going to be doing one. And since my husband doesn't care which one, my son loves pies. I'm going to let him choose whether he wants the apple or the chocolate pecan. Normally we have pumpkin pie too, but that's made by a friend. And this year, we're deciding we don't need 3 pies for 3 people. That's too much pie in my house. And we're gonna have a couple friends join us for Zoom dinner, meaning they're in other states, they can't travel, neither can we, so we're gonna make sure that they don't spend the holidays alone, and frankly, neither do we. Do you all have favorite shows or movies that you like to watch at Christmas and Thanksgiving? I love the old Miracle on 34th Street with Natalie Wood as a child. That was the one I grew up with. Edward Gwynn in that one reminded me a little of my dad's father with the big bushy eyebrows and stuff. My dad's father didn't have a beard, but he had that kind of craggy look with a naughty smile. He was a good guy. I don't remember him very well. He passed when I was very young, but I do remember that. So I'm looking forward to that one. And I'll probably watch plenty of other binge-worthy movies. Now, as an adult, one of my favorite Thanksgiving movies is Home for the Holidays. Robert Downey Jr., Holly Hunter, God, I'm drawing a blank on her name. Wonderfully talented actress, married to Mel Brooks. Oh my God, I'll remember it later. Such a funny movie, totally dysfunctional family. Will remind you of your own family at holidays. It's a riot. I'm sure somebody's guessed the name of the actress I was talking about or looked up the movie Home for the Holidays and figured out who that actress was, because goodness knows. She's so famous, and I'm just drawing a huge blank on her name. And I know as soon as I get off this line live, I will remember her name and be ashamed of myself. Anne Bancroft. Thank you. I knew I'd get it. So, but nobody posted. I unfortunately just, my memory kicked in. And Bancroft. I knew if I fought it long enough, I might actually remember. There's a little tiny seam right there. Use that. There's a slightly senile aunt in there who farts through everything and wears necklaces made out of Cheerios. It's really funny. A little on the darkly humorous side, but really, like every psychotic family gathering, it's very funny. So I'm looking forward to that. That's a tradition that I watch it all the time. So, or every year, I should say. Now, I was given to understand that the Charlie Brown Thanksgiving special is not going to be aired on CBS like it normally is, but that Apple TV will be airing it. So, if you're looking for your Charlie Brown Thanksgiving, that's where it's going to be. I'm a big Peanuts fan from way back. My dad used to have, like, the comic books. Like, they make manga books now. They used to make Charlie Brown comics in books. And we had them, and God, my mother got rid of them when she moved into a smaller house years after my dad passed away. And I should have gotten them from her because they were wonderful. I loved them. Done here. I can wipe back the face and then all I'll have to do is get in the windows. Now we are starting to look into having Zoom classes because, you know, let's face it, in-person classes are not going to be a great thing this year. So in the next few days, you'll start seeing a Zoom class schedule on our website. And there will be options on ways to do it. You can either pay to attend and observe, or I can send you the kit and then you can participate right along with me, which hopefully would be the way it should go, because then you've got your hands on it. We're all working at the same time, but you know what? That's what's going to work. I just need to get the inside of those windows. And we're going to call this one done after I do that. And when you do these, like I said before, turn them around, because you're going to find spots that you missed. And I did miss some up here in these windows that I couldn't see because these edges were facing the camera, not me. So turning things around, check your angles, look for skip spots. And not always will it be a skip spot, because these are inexpensively made. So you might have a little bit of a glue smear somewhere. So if you find your stain doesn't want to take, it just slides right off of the wood. Yeah, you probably got a little glue or something on there from the manufacturing. I'm not worrying about going with the grain when I'm doing these windows. Actually, I don't worry about going with the grain at all of this, other than wiping it off, because you want to wipe off with the grain. But quite frankly, working on something so small like this, I didn't worry about grain direction as much as I would with a full-size furniture piece. Okay. Let me get these upper edges that I know I will have missed. Okay, we're going to set these aside and they will dry tonight, and we'll work on them some more tomorrow with some other fun projects. My goal, please, God, please. My goal is to have this table cleaned off so I can put fresh plastic on it, the epoxy's cleared out, and we can work with heat transfer vinyl adhesive. And hopefully I will have found a better buffing compound so that when I show you some more of these little cast items tomorrow, this is a deer that I have to also take a scissor and clean up between the legs and stuff. I'll be able to polish these a little better. All right, everybody. Let me flip this up. Let me see if I missed any questions that I can answer right now. It doesn't look like there are any questions. I think y'all kind of get this, other than me goofing up where Eugenia was. All right, everybody, have a great day. Keep your eye out for when we start with our Black Friday sales. I think we might even start a little early on it, just to give everybody a heads up. So I like the idea. It's been a rough year for everybody, so as I'm sitting here thinking and talking about it, keep an eye on the website tomorrow. Of course, I will announce it, but I think we might start doing some sale tomorrow just to encourage everybody, take a little of the pressure off of Thanksgiving weekend and kind of spread it over a week and give everybody a little price break. All right, everybody, have a great day. Please use that little arrow button down here if you're on a device and sprinkle the love. And come back tomorrow and see what we're going to be up to. All right, everybody, have a good one. Bye-bye.